way you act, learn how to love. When I see the way you act, if I couldn't anything me, I could do.
I was debating on how I was going to do this video because I didn't know how to introduce it or even how to word it together because when it comes to the comic book legend Stan Lee, you can't just his legacy is so vast. You can't just piece it up together in just one video blog. But I'm gonna try to piece it. I'm trying to make this as short as I can without being without just stretching it for a bit. Stan Lee is the sole primary. He's one of the sole primary reasons. If you know anything about me, you know I like to draw. And I used to create my own volume. I have like volumes and volumes of my own type of comic books that have yet to be published and stuff. But I did, and like the sole primary reason that I do it like that, or that I still do it like that to this very day, is because of Stan Lee. I've been watching. I mean, I've been reading his comic books. I've been reading his work for 28 years. I've been reading comic books for 28 years. I was 10. I think I was 10. Excuse me. I think I was 8 when I picked up my first comic book. I was 10 when I got my first comic book purchase. It was a reissue of a Spider-Man of Amazing Spider-Man when he was going against a Puma, and he was wearing that black symbiote costume, which later became Venom. But he was wearing a black symbiote costume, and he dislocated his shoulder. And in that comic book, what's the name found out that that's when he found that excuse me, hold up, I'm stuttering. And that's when it was acknowledged that the suit that Spider-Man was wearing was an alien costume, because people picked it up. And then when I saw that comic book, I was hooked. Like every single time I went to the library, I picked up a comic book. I read Amazing Spider-Man, X-Men, Hulk, anything because they captured me. Matter of fact, the '90s, in my opinion, the comics that came out in the '90s are by far the best of the Marvel series. Yes, it's more story. The art is better now. The content of the paper is better now. But those comics were way better than they are now, in my opinion. But Stan Lee, he created a world for a person like me who was so isolated and such an introvert and such a troublesome loner to dwell in. Growing up, I didn't really have friends like that. I didn't hang around people like that. I was popular, but people wasn't messing with me like that. I wasn't messing with them like that. I just stayed in my own little world. Even in high school, I didn't run with no clique. I just stayed to myself. Stan Lee's world is where I spent a lot of my time. Just dwell. Yeah, but like I was saying, he created that world for me to dwell in. When I couldn't when I was just to my own self. And of course he became even more popular when these movies based on his characters that he created were brought it to screen. But a reason why a lot of black kids like me were influenced by him, because a lot of these characters that Stan Lee created were based off of African mythology. Yeah, take for example, of course the Thor character. The Thor character, which is from Norse mythology, it was influenced by African mythology, because the Thor character, the people who created Norse mythology, they copied Thor's powers off of an African deity who could control thunder and lightning. And just like the Black Panther character, of course, a lot now people saying Wakanda forever, but the Black Panther character was inspired was he was like Stan Lee created when Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, who died in '93, created the Black Panther character. They were they were influenced by the African king Mansa Musa. Mansa Musa, who is the richest man to ever live, he had an estimated wealth of today's dollar 400 like a Mansa Musa's money was equal to today's dollar of $400 trillion. Yeah, that's like $400 trillion. And just like the X-Men was created in 1963. It was created in 1963 during the time of the civil rights movement, and the mutants are supposed to be black people. Like the mutants, a group are like a group of people who were born different from the mainstream from the mainstream, and were hated and feared just because they were different. And it has two polar opposing sides. One by Magneto, one by Malcolm X. I mean, excuse me. One by Magneto and Professor X. Professor X, those two characters were inspired by two civil rights leaders. Professor X is supposed to be Dr. Martin Luther King. Magneto is supposed to be Malcolm X. Like Stan Lee was heavily influenced by the civil rights movement to even create this story. And that's one of the reasons why a lot of black kids are into this stuff, because simply because of that acknowledgement. But he will greatly be missed. He will definitely be missed because now that he's gone, it's going to be a huge hole that nobody can really fill. It just some people who can't. Whose a legacy just can't be filled, can't be replaced. It's just some people that just can't be replaced. Within the last 20 years, a lot of our leaders, or a lot of people that we look up to, are no longer have left this plane of existence, and you really can't replace them. You could probably imitate them, but you can't replace them. Stan Lee will greatly be missed.